The DCEU, is that what it's called? What is in the DCEU? I'm just gonna do everything post Dark Knight. But we're gonna rank all the movies that have come out so far, coming off of the recent Zack Snyder's Justice League. I made a video on it, and I was like, you know what? I'm ranking Marvel, might as well rank DC too. Be sure to subscribe, smash the like button, let me know in the comments, this sounds so lame, how you rank these movies. And then I guess we could argue about it, because I'm gonna go from my favorite to my least favorite. You know, start off positive, work our way down. Does this even count? I don't know, but I'm gonna fucking count it anyway. Does it rip off Taxi Driver? For sure. But I fucking love Taxi Driver. I hadn't felt this uncomfortable in a theater in a very long time. You could argue there were a lot of things that made me uncomfortable besides the actual movie, but Joaquin Phoenix gives a really good performance here. I really like this iteration of the Joker. Having him be pretty crazy from the start, I think, was a much better choice than having him just be a normal guy, then falls in acid, and then he's crazy now. Like, that would have been really lame. And because of his performance, there's a lot of scenes that still really burn into my mind. Like, I always think about this scene where he's like hanging over the door and the little guy is trying to get through. I mean, just a great use of presence for a villain. The late night show scene has been laughed at a lot, but you know what? I thought it was cool. It was a good time. Everyone in the theater shut the fuck up when that scene played. Him putting the smile on with the blood at the riot at the end. It's just, there's a lot of scenes here that I think are really well done. I mean, the dance on the staircase, they could have picked a better song. I thought that song choice was ungodly lame for sure. But besides that, I want more comic book movies like Joker. I like this take on the character. I think this film gets way too much hate, more than it deserves. But hey, I really like it. Like I said, this is a miracle of filmmaking. The whole story behind it is awesome, but that's not particularly why I enjoy it so much. I think it's just the comeback of a century. I mean, not to spoil what's very last on my list, but it might be the original version of Justice League. And the fact that you could take such an awful piece of shit and turn it into one of the best movies in the genre, honestly. I think it's kind of a miracle what Zack Snyder pulled off. And I think he's such an awesome director for comic book movies. Like, he's the ultimate comic book movie director, because everything he does, it looks like a comic book. It's sweet. I don't love all of his movies, but I think his style fits exactly what a DC film should look like. And for that reason, I have a whole video that you can check out on why I like Zack Snyder's Justice League. But to sum up all the points, everything is much fucking better here. It's way better, and all the characters are awesome. I didn't think Cyborg would be my favorite DC hero after a movie. He had nothing to do in the original, but now, I mean, the character could end the world if he wanted to. It's just little things like that that were changed to make the whole film feel much better.
In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
Whenever I think of Man of Steel, the first thing I think of is Hans Zimmer's score. Not to take anything away with what Snyder does, trust me, but I swear to God, Hans Zimmer's score here might be like top 5 scores of all time for me. It's unbelievable. You play Flight at the gym, you're gonna bench 30 more pounds. It might be Hans Zimmer's best score. And this is the dude that's Hans Zimmer, all right? Like, it's really up there for one of his best. And the music in this film is absolutely incredible, but there's still a lot of other good stuff. I do like Zack Snyder's take on Superman here. A lot of people think Superman should be just boring and really nice, which would be kind of lame. Like, I really don't like the original Superman movies. I think I've tried to watch them as a kid multiple times, and they bore the shit out of me each time. I like how he makes Superman a god-like figure, even though some of the imagery and symbolism could get kind of funny a couple times. I do like the overall concept of what he does with the character. I think Henry Cavill's really good in the role. I think Amy Adams is actually really good in this movie. I wish she had more to do in the Snyder Cut. That was one of the things I didn't really like as much about the Snyder Cut. I like the look of the film, how it's not too colorful, but I also think some of the CGI here could have been touched up a bit. Like, I do like how Zack Snyder's movies look like comic books and they're meant to look more animated, but I still think some of the CGI here could have been a little bit better. I also think Michael Shannon has a lot of really terrible acted parts in here.
I will find him!
But hey, I think it's solid. It's a good time. Stop hating.
You have bullet immunity!
I'm bulletproof.
You're dead.
I watched this for the first time recently, and I was stunned at how much I liked Shazam. I didn't love Shazam, but when I first saw the trailer for Shazam, I thought it looked like the worst thing ever. But this is just like, if you know what Shazam's going for, it's like the best type of movie it could be. It gives off a lot of Home Alone vibes, and the whole movie takes place during Christmas, so it's like, yeah, they're going for a Home Alone ABC family. You watch it once a year during the holidays, superhero movie. And what it does for that type of like Christmas movie genre, I think it does really well. It's cool to have a superhero movie in there now. And if I had watched this when I was like 8 years old, I would have thought it's the coolest movie ever. Shazam would have been my favorite hero. I would have been in my backyard trying to be like Shazam, saying Shazam, probably yelling Shazam like a fucking moron. It's just a feel-good movie, man. Like, I feel like it's one that you could watch with your kids, have a good time, put on once a year, have the Christmas cookies out. I've talked about this being a Christmas movie too long already. It's just enjoyable. You know, I almost put the next one above it. Maybe I should put the next one above it. I don't know. They're kind of tied for different reasons. But Shazam, it's a good time.
Tell me, do you bleed? You will.
This is the movie that ended friendships, and I like it. I think it's also okay. But I don't know. It's why I'm putting it at number 5. You know what? Shazam, I know what it is. I like it. I'm going to keep Batman vs. Superman at 5 for now. I don't love it, but I do think there's a good amount to actually like here. The opening is one of my favorite scenes in any comic book movie. I love the idea of Zack Snyder building off Superman being a godlike figure and having Batman be the version of man trying to take down God. All that stuff is cool. That's how you make interesting comic book movies. It sets up Batman's motivation to want to kill Superman really well. It all makes sense, doesn't feel forced, which I really enjoyed. I thought Ben Affleck's performance as Batman was really good. He's not my favorite Batman. Christian Bale is my boy. The Martha scene, loved the concept.
Why did you say that name?
Doesn't not make me laugh every time I see it. My boy Ram has been defending this movie since it came out, and Ram, you're a fucking maniac, but I love you for that. And I'm glad this movie's being seen in a more positive-ish light over the years, like even though it's not my thing, even though it's the superhero genre, I guess, isn't even my thing. People say this is like the worst one in years, and it's like, why do you like the Marvel movies then? Like, this is definitely better than a majority of them. There's ideas here, they don't all work for me personally. It's my least favorite of the 3 Zack Snyder movies, but it's fine. I'll watch parts. Like that opening scene, like I said, great. Wish I felt that way about the whole movie, because I would have absolutely fucking loved it. This is everybody's favorite. I think it's fine. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, she's cool. It is Gal Gadot, right? It's now Gal Gadot. It's Gal Gadot, right? The No Man's Land scene, it's fucking awesome. It's badass. I think a lot of the World War I setting really works for this movie, and a lot of cool action set pieces take place there most of the time. And that's the thing I don't really like about this movie is I think the last like half hour to 45 minutes, Patty Jenkins kind of ditches the action she was using in the beginning of the movie, like that style. The board just felt more fast-paced and different enough from the DCEU. And then she just tries to copy Zack Snyder's style, but makes it way worse. If the finale was as good as the first half-ish, I think I would have put it higher on my list, but I don't know. The No Man's Land scene, like I said, really fucking cool. And the score does fucking rip.
Seriously, the hell's wrong with you people?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
I'm putting this higher than most people would, but don't mistake that for me thinking this is a good movie. Is it bad? Yeah. Is it the worst thing ever, though? I don't think so. Except for the editing. I was just so fucking excited for this when the first trailer dropped. It just seemed so ominous and like suspenseful and dark and cool. And it was just so bad. I just feel like it's not fun to make fun of Suicide Squad anymore. Everyone's already done it for years. I have nothing to add.
She never parachute.
Redheads, you gotta love them.
I really like James Wan. I really don't like this movie. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's the type of movie I think of when I talk about superhero fatigue, of just very passable origin story, comic book boring bullshit. It's just so forgettable. I can't think of anything that happened. I shit you not. I just went on my letterbox. I had to look up, like, what did I say in my review of when Aquaman came out? And it literally says, when Pitbull comes on. Great. Yeah, this movie's just, it's not good.
You know what? I'm ready to go.
I think we can do better.
Parachute pants?
Yeah,
Does everybody parachute now?
I can't believe Patty Jenkins directed this one, too. It just feels like a completely different person behind the camera on this one. The action, when it does show up, because it barely shows up, is awful here. CGI, awful. Villain, I love you, Pedro. Awful. The only scene I didn't really hate was the opening. Well, the opening was fine with her being a little kid. But the scene where they're in the mall and it's like, it feels like an 80s movie. It's shot like an 80s movie. They make jokes like an 80s movie. I thought, oh, this is going to be cool. Like, they're going to imitate the styles of an 80s movie the whole time. Kind of like how Shazam feels like a 90s Christmas movie. But it was only for that one scene and then it just became really fucking bad. And the craziest part of this is, it wasn't the worst one from 2020.
The Joker and I broke up. I wanted a fresh start. But it turns out I wasn't the only dame in Gotham looking for emancipation.
What an unbelievably torturous experience. I feel like if I went to hell, it would be this movie played 24/7 and you're not allowed to fucking sleep. And you just have to deal with it for eternity. I'm just so confused as to why everybody hated Suicide Squad, but then all of a sudden likes the Harley Quinn movie. It makes no fucking sense to me. It's just so much worse. They took the most annoying part of Suicide Squad, gave it a full-ass movie, and people all of a sudden like it. It doesn't make sense to me at all. It's one of the biggest movie mysteries of all time, honestly. One of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen, for sure. But that just goes to show how bad Justice League was.
Tell me. Do you bleed?
Yeah. Oh, something is definitely bleeding.
Again, I'm going to plug my other video where I kind of talk about the original Justice League a lot, but when I say this was the worst blockbuster that I saw in a decade, besides Transformers 4, I mean, that's a bottom of the list pick. But that's how I rank the DC extended universe, even though Joker doesn't really count, I think, but I threw it in there anyway, and I don't really care. Let me know how you rank all these movies. What's your favorite? What's your least favorite? Where do you agree with me? Where do you disagree with me? I want to hear from you. And I guess hashtag restore the Snyderverse via HBO Max Injustice show, because that shit will be cool when that happens.